Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. This is take number 3. I'm trying to slow down my speech so that everyone can understand me. I was not going to do a video today, but decided that I'm doing a video today because we're going to talk a little bit about animism. So what does this have to do with van life? I don't know. Everything, but it may be kind of hard to explain how. What does this have to do with nomadism? Well, everything, especially the new techno-nomadism. But again, it's going to be kind of hard to explain. So I'm just going to have to kind of leave this open and let you feel your way to it and through it. So I was talking to a friend, good friend on Twitter, or at least I consider him a good friend. Like, I'm very good at friendship in the moment. Doesn't always last very long, but in the moment, it's great. We're talking about animism, and animism as an experiential thing versus a philosophical tradition or set of traditions. There's this thing that happens in civilization, and I don't know exactly. There's a word for it. It starts with an A, and I don't remember the word. I don't know exactly when it happens in civilization. But things shift from a more experiential, animist, shamanic kind of experience to a regulated experience, a philosophical experience, a logical experience, a structured experience, something that goes with that memeplex of civilization. The slavery, the houses, the taxes, the grains, the counting of the kernels of corn so that you can make sure that they all go to the appropriate owners and taxers and kings. Like all of that stuff shifts your religion. Even if your religious basis is animistic, there's still that civilizational shift. Again, starts with an A, don't remember what it is. As an animist, as an experiential animist, okay, so this is really hard because I'm doing this right now, I'm like, whoa. There's a soul, there's a grid element. So there's this grid behind reality, the pillars of the universe that holds up reality. And you can be one of those. Like you can actually go into an enlightenment state where you are holding up, forming reality. You can experience this directly. It's very momentary. It's very in the moment. Okay, everything is real. And it's hard, like when I'm doing it, I can't talk. This is the problem I'm having with this video. I can sit here and I can just sink into the grid element, the soul, the actual living oneness of each part of this van, or the van as a whole, or the systems as a whole. It's kind of hard to, it's very paradoxical, but experientially, it's all the same thing all at once. It's everything all at once. It is the everything bagel in your van, right? If you saw that movie. I saw that movie. It was pretty weird. I just saw it like 2 weeks ago. I couldn't handle stories when it came out. So there's a book that is almost impossible to find called Flying Carpetry, Magic Carpetry. Subtitle, Flying Your Car with Your Mind. It's by Joe Clayton. And it really talks about how your relationship, your experience of your car can actually determine whether or not it's going to break down. And, this was a big, huge shocker to her at the time. This is back in the 80s, I think. And because her car would just break down when she was stressed out. She had a horn. The horn would only work when she let go of her stress. And it was the thing that literally changed her life, brought her soul out. And so this is part of animism. It's not all of animism, but this is a part of a thing. You have a relationship with the soul of your vehicle, and it's a relationship, but there's an existence there. There's an isness there. There's a soul. There's God stuff. There's whatever you want to call it. Something in the grid behind the universe is real in everything, and it is everything. And where you're at will determine how you can actually experience this. Can I feel the soul and the magic in a piece of cinder block? Well, yeah, actually, I can. I posted about this before, did a video about this, about how parking garages have this magic to them that most people can't sense, but it's very much like the same magic that you find in a park or the woods or a cave. It's this. There's a place magic to it. There's a soul. There's an existence. There's a in Norse religious traditions, modern Norse religious traditions, the ones that people are making up and trying to make like Loki into a god or whatever, they call them wights, land wights. Wight means spirit in this context, and they think that they're the Norse traditionalists. There's no land wight unless the forest is 5,000 years old and in Scandinavia, whatever. That full of shit. That palm tree has a land wight. It's like right in front of me. It's been there for, based on the height, about 40 years. Whatever. When I'm in the experience, everything sort of stops. This is the hard part of animism. It's the hard part of real experiential animism. I don't mean real as in real and fake. I mean real as in sub-real. There we go. Sub beneath the real. You have this experience that is so total, so encompassing, so deep, so everything that you can't actually do anything with it. Now, things might still happen. This is one of the really cool bits. Warning, cool bit. If I actually get into the soul of my keyboard and I get in there and I'm like experiencing the plastics and the font design and the people involved and all the stuff, then everything mentally has to stop because I'm experiencing a big, huge now. But I might still be typing. My system or the universe or whatever's operating through me might still be typing 120 words per minute. Just boom, right? So that's for real. But you can't like I was trying to type this out to my friend, and I realized I had to make a video because I could not just stop and look at the top of the desk and describe the soul of the wood, the woodworking, the travel, the age, the whole all-encompassing, and type. Like I couldn't do it. I can do it on video because I can just sit there and be like, there's a piece of mahogany right above my head, and I can remember after a while that I'm doing a video. And I'm not totally lost in the experience of the present moment of the piece of wood. It's a very magical piece of wood. It's actually doing a lot of work for us, and it's really fun, and I want to make little carvings in it and stuff, and it's really cool. So that's the video for today. None of this makes any sense, and that's okay. But understand that this idea, this core experiential animism isn't about, it's not about my body. It's not about my somatic response to things. It's not about my body keeping the score and sensing the stress of a plant or being stressed out because I saw a rock that was cleaved uncleanly by an evil person in the history of bad landscapers. There's one right there. it's not this somatic thing. It's not this intellectual thing. It's not really a philosophy thing. It's not a meaning. It's not a direction. It's not like I can apply all that, right? I can be like, hey, I am going off on a nomadic adventure. I am. Pretty soon. I'm trying really, really hard not to just go and to finish, like, all the paperwork and all the stuff and give everyone notices and do all the mail and changes of address and stuff. But it's really hard because I'm kind of I could just go. Bye. And except I wouldn't say bye. I just go. I can use the soul stuff, the animism. I can talk to the van. I can talk to the road. I can talk to the trees. I can experience the weather. I can be pushed by the soul of the universe on my adventure. And it's all really cool. And it's very really doable in that sense. Like there's a vibration, there's a path, there's a, but the path isn't some fate thing. It's accepting and allowing what's happening right now. So don't get caught up in that fate thing. But that's not what animism as an experience is. That's something you overlay on top of animism. First, everything is infinite numbers of infinitely connected, single, infinite souls. Don't worry about the contradiction. Don't worry about the paradox. Everything is singular and plural at the same time, and that's fine. Just let it be. That's the base. That's the core. That's what's under all of that. When you go to walk through the woods and you have that experience and you feel the sprites and you feel the spirits of the trees and the naiads and the dryads and that's all a layer on top. Beneath that, there's the grid, that sub-reality of the infinite souls. Before you assign meaning to them, before you assign beingness to them, before you define them, before you boundary your experience of them, there's just experience. Okay? Just experience. And that's what I'm trying to get at. That is the core of animism. That's what's underneath it all. Yes, I love the temples with the big demon faces and the spirits and the whole idea of like the spirit of the crow occupies me and I can go fly. And I love all that. It's all cool. It's all a great, wonderful, rich part of the game that we're playing in life. Games, plural, singular. It's all singular. It's all plural. We're playing these games. Everything's cool. But the core experience of animism is below that level. I don't know. If you're a computer person, maybe it's the machine language of the universe. I don't like that analogy because it ignores hardware, but that's it. I'm done. I have now failed utterly to explain animism to you, my listener or viewer. Stay sideways.